The Volvo XC90 was a smash hit for the Swedish car manufacturer, and it just kept on trucking, staying on sale for a whopping 13 years with strong sales right up until the end. Of course, it received numerous updates during its lifetime, but now at last we have an all-new XC90. And what a car it is! It might have simple lines, but there's something very stately about the new XC90, and you'll be left in no doubt that it's an elegant and expensive looking SUV. It also debuts Volvo's new family face, which includes this larger, more prominent badge, a grille with these chrome accents on versions like this Inscription model, and daytime running lights based on nothing less than Thor's hammer. Jump in the XC90 and you'll immediately be struck by the feeling of quality and this gorgeous portrait touchscreen, which is both responsive and easy to use once you do get familiar with it. You'll also probably notice the instruments, or rather the lack of them, because like in Audi's Q7, this is an all-digital display with no traditional analog gauges. You can adjust the graphics for a different style of look, and if you go into eco mode, it also changes subtly to show you how much fuel you're saving. This is the luxurious Inscription trim, and the materials and finishes really are lovely, but even on the standard model, it's still very high quality in here. But despite looking stunning, we'd probably avoid this cream leather interior, because if you're anything like me, you'd be terrified of getting it dirty. You've probably noticed this dash mounted tweeter by now too, because the 1400 watt Bowers & Wilkins optional stereo is a real highlight. It has no less than 19 speakers and even an air-cooled subwoofer. Not only that, but using the touchscreen, you can make the sound emulate a recording studio or a concert hall in Sweden's capital, Gothenburg. Of course, the XC90 isn't all show, because there are cup holders dotted all over the cabin, including right here, as well as this large storage bin with a USB charging port and a decent sized glove box, which actually is still a bit showy because it dramatically opens when you press this button. Hop in the back and there's loads of legroom, and the seats are among the comfiest you'll find. They're really well designed too, with a slim profile giving you more space, and they're even designed to replicate the shape of the human spine. Access to the third row is better than most rivals, because not only do the middle bench tilt forward, they also slide as well. Once back here, these seats are surprisingly comfortable, and whilst Volvo says they're suitable for adults 170 centimeters tall, we found that taller people can use them for short hops. With all 7 seats in place, the boots of most cars are non-existent, but here you still get 451 litres, which is plenty for shopping and even some luggage. The boot's also wide and flat, so it's easy to load into, and if you fold the rear seats down, including the middle row, you get a cavernous 1951 litres of space. It might not be a stretch saloon, but there's something about the Volvo XC90 that makes me feel a bit like a chauffeur. And that's because you feel like you want to convey your passengers to their destination as smoothly as possible. And it's something the XC90 is very good at. There's this really smooth 8-speed automatic gearbox, and the suspension's very good at soaking up bumps. This car's on a standard suspension setup, but for £2,150, you can also have adaptive air suspension, which improves comfort another notch again. It's respectably poised in the bends, and while it can't quite match the outright handling of the Q7 in its dynamic mode, it does have plenty of grip and there's not too much body lean in most corners. We're driving the top-selling D5, which is a 2-litre turbocharged diesel with 222 bhp, and while it's not as fast as the freakish 3-litre V6 diesel in the Q7, to be honest, it's plenty quick enough for a 4x4 of this size. 0 to 62 miles per hour in 7.8 seconds also makes it usefully quicker than a Land Rover Discovery. There's also a 316 horsepower petrol engine, as well as a twin-engined plug-in hybrid with 314 horsepower petrol and an 81 brake horsepower electric motor, which you can get from 0 to 62 in a crazy 5.9 seconds. It's also very quiet because it can run on electric only, and it's very refined around town. If you're buying a Volvo, you're probably interested in safety, and there's lots of tech in this department, including autonomous braking, which is now more advanced than ever. There's also a unique system called Run Off Road, which tightens your seatbelt should the car detect that you're about to leave the tarmac in the event of an accident. And incredibly, this car can even use the sensors for its adaptive cruise control to drive itself in stop and start traffic, like when you're stuck on the motorway, and it works at speeds below 30 miles per hour. So there's no doubting the XC90 is fully loaded with kit, but how much does that make it all cost? Well, the entry-level version starts from £46,250, which compares to over 47 grand for the Audi Q7, but just under £42,000 for the Land Rover Discovery. But it's possible to really go to town with the XC90, and in fact I was playing with a configurator on Volvo's website, managed to get one well in excess of 80 grand by ticking all the boxes. In terms of running costs, the D5 diesel can return up to 48.7 mpg, and we've been seeing around 39 in real world driving. The plug-in hybrid should appeal to company car drivers thanks to its ultra-low 5% benefit in kind tax, courtesy of just 49 grams per kilometre CO2 emissions. Volvo had a huge job on its hand creating a replacement for the XC90, but the results are spectacular. We love its fresh cabin design, its great infotainment system, and its smooth driving feel. Families should love it too, partly because the third row of seats are comfortable and don't ruin the boot space, and because its safety is class leading. It's also worth noting that while some big SUVs aren't loved by everyone we met had warm words for this large Volvo. But do you think the XC90 was worth the wait? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Click on the inquire button to find out more details about this car, or for any other models visit carkeys.co.uk, and to watch more reviews click one of the links on screen now.